Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 when posting videos to this channel. And here on this channel I start things off with, hey, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Please enjoy this digital confection that I found for you, right there. I'm looking forward to the comments of today's video because today we're going to explore a conspiracy theory. And, well, those are often fun, I think. And this specifically involves the recent spate of salvage yard fires. There's been an uptick in fires at salvage yards across the country. And as I said, there's conspiracy theories as to why this is happening. I went digging for information on this, but I think one of the ones that sticks out for me is the Idaho fire that took out a bunch of classic vehicles. They were featured on Roadkill. I think they got their Pontiac from that salvage yard. David Freiberger posted about that. That fire was part of a fire that was happening in Idaho. It was a wildfire already, and it just got caught up into that, and that was just awful luck, frankly. And here's something I want you to think about with all this. Many salvage yards in places like the one I just mentioned are family-owned businesses. I guess they kind of start out when land ownership and hoarding come together. And you get, well, out in the middle of nowhere salvage yard full of a bunch of classic vehicles, and perhaps you can find the part that you're looking for that's now impossible to find. And this is why this becomes important. And this is what feeds into the conspiracy theory. Now, these other salvage yard fires that weren't related to this wildfire, as I said, they've been happening, and the speculation is that the reason why these salvage yard fires are happening is because there's somebody out there that does not want us having access to older vehicles and getting those parts so that we can keep our older vehicles on the road. They're trying to force us into buying new vehicles. So if they take out all the old ones, well, there's no place for us to get parts anymore, so we can't fix the stuff we've got, so we're forced into buying something new. That is the conspiracy theory. Now, I went looking for solid information, I'll call it, and I came up with, there's an industry publication called Waste 360, and that industry is the salvage industry, so recycling industry, so metal recycling, plastic recycling, all that kind of thing. I figured I would find good information there on some reasoning that could contribute to these fires that are happening in these salvage yards, something beyond just somebody purposely setting these things to lock us out of old car parts. And what I found is there's been an influx of lithium-ion batteries into the recycling system. And as far as vehicles are concerned, you're like electric vehicles. Well, would they even take an electric vehicle in to a salvage yard, given, you know, the stuff that goes on with batteries, and battery recycling is a whole different deal, separate from everything. But there's also hybrids. So there's hybrid vehicles out there that also have these lithium-ion batteries in there. And there's also a plethora of devices that we're walking around with, probably in our pockets right now, that also contain lithium-ion power. Those lithium-ion batteries are the thing that people worry about. In fact, electric vehicle fires, a lot of them are caused by some sort of malfunction in that lithium-ion system that causes a thermal event. That's what they call it, a thermal event. It's not just a fire, oh no, it's a thermal event. So even a small device can cause a big problem, is what I'm getting at. So even, not even a car-sized lithium-ion battery, something even smaller that maybe got left in a glove compartment or something like that, and it didn't get caught in the process of taking the vehicle into the yard, and suddenly one day it's sitting out there, that thermal event happens, and one of those vehicles catches on fire. I'm here to tell you, cars are very flammable. You know, they try to make them not so flammable, but all those plastics and things. Plastic is a petroleum product for the most part, so it's basically, you know, gooed up gasoline in a sense. So it's gonna burn. My point is if you've got a small fire in a salvage yard, it is a big deal, because once that fire starts to spread, there's plenty of fuel all through that salvage yard. And yes, they empty out the gasoline and the oils and all those kinds of things of these vehicles. It's impossible to get out every drop, okay? And we've discussed in other videos how gasoline, the liquid itself, is not the issue. It's the vapor that's the issue. So you've got volatile stuff sitting on a yard, and it's kindling for any ignition source. So the right conditions can wipe out that salvage yard relatively quickly. And this could start when they're taking the vehicle into the yard and they're emptying those fluids and they're doing all these things, and maybe something happens and that fire starts there and spreads throughout the yard. I guess what I'm saying here is that if you do have a fire in a salvage yard, it's going to be a problem, a really big problem, and there is the potential to take out that entire yard. You know, big or small fire, that is the potential that is there. So if you have more lithium-ion, components working their way into the recycling system, and they have a thermal event, somebody didn't catch it somewhere, like I said, it doesn't have to be a vehicle battery. It could be, I don't know, some device, something that has lithium-ion in it that is sitting out in a yard in, 100+ degree heat or whatever, and whatever conditions that are met that cause that thermal event to start. Like I said, once that starts, I think that sets the whole thing ablaze. Now, I actually reached out to some friends that I have in the salvage industry, and I asked them to comment on this. The response that I got, no comment. So I don't have any direct comment from people in the field. The only information that I'm going off of is, like I said, this publication, Waste 360. I will link that down in the description. But I would caution you against, an evil cabal that's out there taking away our car parts. I try to follow the Occam's razor thing. The simplest explanation is often where you're going to find your answer. And the way I see this is, yes, more lithium ion working its way into the recycling system could very well be the cause of a lot of these salvage yard fires. Or in the case of the fire in Idaho, it's just bad luck. And yeah, it's sad, and I don't like to see these things go away, but at the same time, let's be reasonable about this. Let's be logical about this. Let's not just go down a rabbit hole of somebody's trying to get us, because that may or may not be the case, but let's not let that be the default. Let's try to find the logical path to the cause of things. However, I would love your thoughts on this topic. Why do you think the salvage yard fires are happening? Why do you think all this is suddenly become a thing? Is this part of some effort to get us to buy new vehicles? Or is this just some, new thing that we have to deal with in the salvage industry? I'd love to hear about it from you, especially if you are in the salvage industry. I would love your take on this. Have you worked at a salvage yard? Have you seen these fires? What is your take on everything I've talked about in this video? I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today. If you have automotive questions, EricTheCarGuy.com is always there for you, linked down in the description, along with that Waste 360 publication that I mentioned and some other things. So check the description for additional information. I will remind you to be safe, have fun, stay dirty, and once again, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.